And I'm betting my money most of the times on despair and fear. Because if things are going south too fast and you don't act on that.
In this video, we're going to talk about hashtag inbound 19, challenges, changes, emotions, and so much more. Our guest, inbound speaker, Oliver Lopez. Hey, you know what time it is. All right, Sprocket Talk viewers and listeners, it's your boy George B. Thomas back with another episode of Inbound Speaks, and I am super excited because today we're going to, like the title in itself, listen, we got to start there. Usually we don't start there. Challenge, change, control, turning prospects into revenue by using emotions. Sprocket Talk viewers and listeners, you know me, I love emotions. And today we are talking to Oliver Lopez. Now, Oliver, there are, I think, like 30,000 people going to be coming to Boston for Inbound, which is crazy, exciting, scary, all at the same time. Some of them don't know me, some of them might not know you. So let's start at the very beginning and just kind of explain to the Sprocket Talk viewers and listeners, the Inbound attendees, who you are, what you do, and where you do it at.
So I tend to look at myself as a recovering sales rep. And by saying that, it's what I mean by that is that I used to be one of the pushy sales reps. I've been in sales for all my career, like 20 plus years. I had an epiphany like 7 years ago when my company became a HubSpot partner and we adopted Inbound. So what do? I teach salespeople to stop pushing themselves and build value for their customers. I teach marketing people to understand sales reps because the talk I'm doing is all about how to manage a sales process and how to get the most out of a sales conversation that you might possibly get.
Oliver, my next question is for you. How do we know all these sessions, all these speakers, like 4 days of craziness, how do we know that we should be in Oliver Lopez's session? Like, who is going to get the most value by having their butt in a seat in your session?
I would say primarily, this is the third time I'm speaking. I've done 2 marketing tracks before. This is the first time I'm doing a sales track. So obviously it would be sales reps and people within sales. Basically everybody, every one of us is in sales. But if your title is selling and you're in sales, you should come to my track because it's all about how you can mix being kind of like a nail in the eye, making your customer feel uncomfortable, but at the same time you need to control the process and you need to speak in terms of emotion. Like the old ROI focused spreadsheet way of thinking is. That's something everybody does today, but you need to touch them in a space where they find the urgency to actually change and do anything at all. So sales reps and people within sales.
Yeah, and I'll even go back to your original thing because that intrigued me. You help marketers understand sales, and I almost think that marketers could go to this session as well just to kind of get a glimpse into the mindset of sales professionals. But if you are in sales, which again, another tidbit in this section, we're all in sales, even though our title might not have sales in it. This might be a good session for you. So, challenge, change, control, turning prospects into revenue by using emotions. I love the word emotions in there. Oliver, what are some nuggets of wisdom that people who attend your Inbound 2019 session might hear along the way?
A few nuggets I would use is that if you want to be a good sales rep, if you want to be good at sales, you need to look at marketing. So part of my presentation is going to be marketing stuff, like a few ads, like I'm comparing what would marketers say to reach this potential buyer, and what would you say if you're in sales, like traditionally. And what I'm saying with this is, what if you take a look at the people, the awesome marketers who actually can make people change by making them feel in a specific way? What if you could use that kind of like using storytelling and reaching your client, like throw away the spreadsheets and the ROIs and touch them where they actually want to change? Because something we know today in sales is that we lose most of our deals to no decisions more than losing them to competitors because we're not touching the client where we need to touch them.
I do want to go a level deeper in this because of the word emotion in your title. I'm super curious, Oliver, if you can kind of explain how important emotion is, and maybe give us one tip on how a salesperson or sales professional could use emotion in their selling process.
I would say like the tumble dryer effect. If you throw the client into the tumble dryer, they go up and down, to the left, to the right. They feel hope, they feel despair. They need to feel something, because if they don't feel anything, they're not going to do anything. So, and I'm betting my money most of the times on despair and fear, because if things are going south too fast and you don't act on that, things are going to get even worse than you thought. A lot of people like hope and possibilities, but what actually moves people is, what if I don't stop this like downward spiral? What would actually happen? It's all about like mixing feelings and emotions all over the place.
I love it. It's getting them to understand, if you don't make a change, how will this impact your business?
Yes.
How much revenue will you lose? And then I would even say, once they embrace that, then being ready to give that glimmer of light or the pathway.
Exactly.
That's the sales process, right? You have to get them to embrace the like, oh my gosh moment, and then, oh, there it is. So, Oliver, this is going to be good. I can't wait to see what people actually talk about after they come out of your talk. And speaking of coming out of your talk, you've gone to Inbound, you've given a ton of value, everybody has sat there, they stand up, they give you a standing ovation, round of applause, and they're getting ready to head out to their next session. Oliver, I'm curious, what's the hashtag one thing that you hope your audience takes with them as they move past your session and on to the next one?
It's getting a bit old, even though I've been using it for a few years myself, but I would say hashtag value. That's all it's about, value. That's it.
You heard it here. If you want to be great at sales, lead with value. So Oliver's talk is challenge, change, control, turning prospects into revenue by using emotions. Correct use of emotions in sales is what differentiates successful salespeople from, well, the rest. Throw away the ROI and the spreadsheets. It's not working. Stories and emotions, well, they do. But even with a great story, your most important task is to empower your customer to seek change. How do you lead your client from it's good enough to I need this now? By using a framework like challenge, change, control. 1, challenge what the customer thinks. 2, identify an urgency to change. And 3, control the process. If the customer doesn't want to change, the deal will never close. Some key takeaways from Oliver's 2019 Inbound session are: find out how to create urgency by shifting your client's mindset from it's good enough to I need this now. Learn how to direct your selling towards people's emotions rather than just logic. No mind games, just practical steps. And discover how to use questioning and psychology to reach the heart of your client's problems and not their symptoms. Hey, did you like this video? Then make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell as well for instant notifications, and so we know that you're part of this Rocket Talk community. We can't wait to see you at Inbound 2019, but until then, make sure you're focused on being a happy, helpful, humble human. And as always, make sure along the way you're doing some happy HubSpotting.